Hello, everyone. Welcome to another MCU crew. We got the Cox. We got the... Wait. I could have been saying we've got the Bronze Cox show every week now. God.
I mean, that's our separate podcast that we do. That's only available to exclusive members of the MCU crew community. You have to be like exclusive.
The Bronze,
you want access?
Bronze, can you be like
slide in my DMs, send me a picture.
Bronze, how about this? What if your online persona is like a Super Saiyan and you're at bronze level, but you're about to power up and become gold? You're going to be that gold girl, okay? And then you can have the Golden Cox podcast. What do we think?
But the Cox isn't golden. It's just bronze quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that okay? You're just starting off
prideful over here.
You're just starting off low. Okay.
We're the everyman's.
You're the everyman's podcast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you have to be exclusively invited via DM to me.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Our illustrious
audience is surprisingly all redheads. Beautiful redheads.
Huh. Not a cult. Not a cult.
Whoa. Not a cult. More of like a group of adults who engage in cult-like activities together for the purposes of a podcast.
But not a cult.
Yeah. Jesse's there to appeal to our redheaded demographic. I'm there to appeal to our blue collar.
To the Jesse demographic.
They blue collar demographic. Everyone knows Middle America loves me. Middle America in the chat. Sound off. They love me.
What is Middle America?
You know,
a bunch of chai tea drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Construction, pipe fitting, union jobs.
Non-bread eating, chai tea drinking. Good old American souls.
Got it. Fair enough. Well, hey, welcome.
Smoker. And probably somewhat appealing to you. You know, probably. I don't know. This is just what I've been told.
Got it.
Firing from the hip.
Got it. Welcome to the MCU crew. It's reordering week. How about we make this look? This is a year of setting. Did we start the show in 2022 or has this been going a year? How long have we been doing this?
We start the show in 2022?
When did we do this?
I don't know what day it is.
When did this show? I just typed, when did this show start into Google? And I was expecting it to know exactly what I meant. MCU Crew Episode 1 began. Ah, shit. We started in 2021.
It's okay. I was just talking yesterday about how time doesn't feel real to me. I swear to God, yesterday was October 1st. I feel like I just feel like October just started like yesterday.
No. November's almost already done.
We are.
But doesn't it feel like
I have a theory about time, Bronze.
Don't say
what
this.
Is that? Hey, hold on. What is that theory?
I have a theory that as you get older,
go on.
Time passes faster.
Why would that be?
Because your eyes can't process what's happening as fast as they could when you were younger.
That's fascinating. Shut the fuck up. That's so fascinating. Never speak.
You know what's going to be even more fascinating?
What's that?
When, hey, listener, viewer, whatever. If you are, say, 30 years old, just think back to your life and realize that you're at like what a weird point it is to have lived 30 years, but to know that potentially you could live another 30 years. And what is that 30 years going to look like that compared to your previous 30 years, bro? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
What is this, introspective Jesse time?
I'm just saying, think about it. Think about how crazy that is. Think about like how you'll end up spending a portion of your life as like an old person. Think about it. Think about it.
Well, they're saying, Jesse, like, 40 is the new 30. So.
You know, personally, I'm kind of looking forward to it. And here's why, guys. I'm going to just lay it all out there. Okay. I was a very late bloomer. And so, you know, like I've only just now started to flourish. And so if it's like this, I'm ready to be the next Helen Mirren, you know? Y'all don't understand. I know y'all are like, oh, she's cute. She's full of it. No, I had a unibrow in high school. Like these two caterpillars connected. Okay, it was hard out here for a Desi girl. It was tough. And, you know, even when I went to elementary school in America, people would say really mean things to me like, oh, aren't Indians really hairy and shit like that? And then it's like I grew up and those same guys are like, have a dissy fetish now. And I'm like, yeah, who's hairy now? Razors exist, you stupid bitch. So yeah, it took me a long time to flourish. And so I'm just assuming
I've always been beautiful,
that I'm gonna continue to flourish, you know? But
you
were probably, like, the funny guy in school, right? So, like, you probably were okay. Like, I'm not saying you were popular, but you probably got by. I struggled, and then in senior year, I was like that was when I was popular, I guess, finally. But it's because I waxed my eyebrows.
You know what?
Princess Diaries
I will say this to anyone, anywhere. This is an absolutely true. I believe this to my core. Don't let anyone shame you ever for wanting to change something about yourself. Be it an eyebrow wax or a butt lift. I don't give a shit. Be it whatever it is. If it makes you happy, I don't give a shit. Do what you want. Have fun.
It's true. It's true. Sage advice here.
Yeah.
From the Bronzed Cox podcast.
That's why our podcast is so good. But again,
hard-hitting journalism we do.
Oh, it's a journalistic podcast.
Only available through private DMs to me. Send a photo.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Not a cult.
Hashtag not a cult.
Not a cult. Just need to verify you're a redhead.
That's one of the hashtags, yeah. It's hashtag not a cult. Anyways.
Security number.
What I was going to say is, I think that this is now, we've had one annual tradition, and that's the annual Halloween episode after Halloween. Okay, we set that. And here's the second.
It took us 2 years to have an annual tradition.
It's true. Because I didn't think about doing them until now. And now we're starting a second.
Whatever.
Yes, that's exactly right. We didn't know what we were doing. The second. There's the dog going crazy because of the doorbell. He's very excited about the tradition. The second tradition is the annual reordering of Marvel films during Thanksgiving week.
Do we have a theme song? Let's like it lowers from the rafters.
That's it right there.
Amazing. Someone make a good version of that.
Yeah, you were doing the theme song.
Still use my horn noise.
Yeah. Next year we'll have things fall from the sky.
Banner.
And a banner
like
appear.
Little banner.
That's how it goes.
Hell yes.
That's how it goes. Before we get to that,
most stressed day of the year.
Before we get to all that, though, we got a little tiny bit of news. The internet's abuzz this morning because of a photo of one Kang the Conqueror that came out of Empire. This is actually like blowing up on the interwebs. Let me pull it up.
A good Kang? Or is it him in full outfit?
Yes.
Like Kang?
You ready for this, Jesse?
I'm never ready for Kang. Oh, I mean, like, here's the thing. That is the most MCU version of a Kang outfit I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
But it's it. It is what it is.
I think it looks
good.
I'm
painting my Tau army that color. So I'd like to say I was ahead of the curve. Yeah.
Can I say, by the way, I'm obsessed with this. Lately I've been obsessed with capes after having played God of War Ragnarok. Freya's cape in that game. Fabulous design. Big fan. I love this cape as well. The like going on in the background. Big cape fan.
Yeah.
Huge cape fan.
Yeah. Pretty good cape. I don't use the costume though that has the cape on it. I use I can't say what costume I use because it's spoilers. So never mind, Jesse Cox. I just don't use that one.
I would say that I mean, I'm excited for this. I think based on what we've seen so far, the mask bit is going to be like it's me, Kang, from the comics, and then the mask is taken off, and he'll never put it back on again.
Yes, I agree. Maybe in combat he'll like mask up, and so they could put us. Do you think Majors does his own stunts, or do you think they bring in a stunt coordinator for that?
I don't
think stunt man.
He's going to have. I think he's going to be a walk and talk this entire movie.
You think?
I think he's going to come down, say a few things. He's going to meet him, say a few things. He's going to be the mysterious, like, I'm a villain, but also watch out for. I don't think he's the big
I'm
bad of this
likable
movie.
somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be there to be like, I can totally help you. Also, I'm evil, but I can help you. He'll be kind of like there setting up himself for the rest of the franchises.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he shows his hand right away.
Can I make a wacky prediction? God makes a wacky prediction?
Let's hear it. It sounds wacky already.
The real bad guy, Bill Murray.
Yeah. I feel like Marvel missed the boat on the Murray fandom. I feel like Murray stock is tanking with all the recent allegations out there. So
I'm just saying.
Oh, there's allegations. I didn't know Murray stock was down.
Murray stock is down. Yeah, there's
a lot of talk about him just being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Which is, I think a lot of people knew. Like, there's two Bill Murrays. There's like, I'm fun Bill Murray, and then I'm, asshole Bill Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. That's accurate. So we'll see. You might be right, Jesse Cox. I think they're going to make Kang they'll do the intro. They'll have a grand intro. And then at the end, he'll reveal like part of his plan. And then Ant-Man's going to be like, no, I must warn the Avenger. And then the show's going to end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I just think the main antagonist is what I mean. It will not be Kang. Kang will be the guy at the end who's like, I was in charge the entire time, you big tubby.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff.
Well, it's the antagonist is whoever they're going to try to steal from, right?
MODOK?
MODOK was in the footage that was shown at, I think, D23. MODOK was shown, like a full life version MODOK. So maybe. Could be. It's got to look weird. Whoever's playing MODOK.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be a weird dude, but I guess if you pop him out in the quantum realm, he's going to maybe look normal compared to everyone else. Because a lot of the like creature designs that we've seen in that first trailer were very unique and not super humanoid.
Do you think we will get a Kang explainer again?
What do you mean by that? Oh, of like who and what he is?
Kang's going to say, yeah. So he's going to have to re-explain to audiences, or are they just going to be like, this is Kang, he's a new villain, and if you want to learn more, go watch Loki.
I think we'll get exposition on him from who is Michelle Pfeiffer. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, I think she's going to give exposition on Kang, having worked with him before, having made a deal with him before or something. Because she definitely like puts her hood up as they go into the city in the trailer. Mm-hmm. And is like very fearful of something. And so I think Kang probably has had some effect on her through one way or the other. And she'll have like the inside information about who and what he is. But it'll probably be a pretty light reintroduction of who or what Kang is. In the sense that like, oh, he's from the future. Blah, 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 blah. That's it. And maybe she doesn't even know he's from the future. Maybe they keep that for Loki viewers. I don't know. Guess it's up to them how far they want to go with that and how quick they want to go into the Kang backstory. What are you looking up, Jesse? I can tell you're doing something. You're scheming.
I went to go look up the video just to see Michelle Pfeiffer put her cloak up and stuff, and also just to look at Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
But the first thing that popped up wasn't that at all, but it was Ryan Gosling in mind for MCU villain role.
That's correct. That's a future news. Well, it's the next news story. The next news story. But yeah.
Well, we might as well go there.
Let's do it. He is potentially playing a quote unquote evil Superman by the name of Hyperion. Which is literally just a Superman like ripoff type deal.
So what? He's gonna be? He's Thunderbolts then?
Yeah, he's the Thunderbolts villain potentially. Not anything confirmed, but that's what people are thinking. Is that he's playing Hyperion?
Interesting that. I mean, that's like not a great. You'd think for like an actor like him, I don't know, they'd give him something a little more than like Like that's a one and done. That guy's dead. That's a one and done.
Maybe. Marvel's getting to the point now where any character that they introduce, they try to keep around for as long as possible, right? Like they haven't.
Yeah,
what was the last big character
about,
they killed off? I don't know.
This one says that it could be Sentry.
True.
That he could be Sentry. He was a. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, okay, I'm a little disappointed it's not a good character. Like, no offense to the Sentry stands or the Hyperion stands or whoever it's going to be, but like, it's kind of a shit character.
Yeah,
I guess there's more than you have more than enough room to make it your own.
Well, there's
nothing there.
The MCU doesn't necessarily have a Superman yet because the last Superman they had literally flew himself into the sun for some reason. So
sure, but also the idea of evil Superman is so overplayed that like you're gonna waste Ryan Gosling on another evil Superman.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who else the Thunderbolts fight though, unless they're sneaking into like a Wakandan thing or like a some sort of facility type deal.
Nothing matters anymore. We all watched a movie where men lived under the ocean. And no one mentioned a giant man in it. There's no rules anymore. None of it matters. None of it matters. Maybe because they were in the Atlantic, they didn't like concern themselves with what was going on in the Pacific. They were like, sorry, that's the Indian Ocean. That's very far away.
I completely negated that whole thing. They did just like
they want you to forget, bro.
Yeah,
they want you to forget. And I can't forget it. I can't forget it.
They didn't mention it. Yeah. So that was I don't know if that's fully 100% factual yet that Ryan Gosling is playing Hyperion, but it's the rumor going around town along with this Kang image. I kind of want to. I guess we saw his helmet in the trailer. I think we saw Kang's helmet in the trailer.
Yeah. When he's coming down on like a floating platform, it looks very old school Kang. His face is purple in it. Yeah. Right? Like they're doing all the things, but 100% that's like one moment for the fans and then, or maybe to sell a toy. And then the rest, he's going to have his helmet off. Like,
anytime
this image, the image is the perfect summation of Marvel movies where it's like, they all have helmets. We all know they have helmets, but when they talk, they take the helmets off because
why not?
Reasons.
Yeah. Stars, actors. Agents,
we're paying for them to be there. You might as well see their face.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So that was the big news. The other big news, I guess, not necessarily Marvel exactly, but Marvel related. Bob Iger's back at Disney. That news hit last night.
Yeah,
kind of shocking. Shocking is so much as so that I believe Chapek. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Was supposed to introduce Elton John last night at the streamed event for Elton John's final American tour date, and he canceled because he found out the news, according to a couple reports. So very, very like random to hear that on a Sunday.
You gotta feel like you gotta know when something like that's coming.
I heard that they offered him the job yesterday morning.
Because the thing is like, listen, I guess, okay, let me rephrase that. There are people out there that have a level of delusion and lack of self-awareness that I aspire to. And I've worked with those people that are like, they would never fire me. The trains run on time around here because of me. And in my head, I'm like, oh, they would absolutely fire you. Like, and then they get fired and they're like, what? But I guess like for most people, when you're like, ooh, that was a fuck up. That was potentially a lose your job fuck up, or these are strings of fuck ups, or the general temperature in the pool regarding favor towards me is reaching an icy cold, So part of me has to be like, you had to know that people weren't feeling very positively about this phase. Because I saw tweets like people were blaming like that, how like the lukewarm reception to the entirety of this phase is a reason for it going back to Iger.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they could point to.
I mean, also Disney, the resorts have gone to shit.
Yeah.
The like just across the board, it seems like a lot of failures. If anything, bringing back the old guy is like a mea culpa to everyone. Like, we get it.
Yeah, it's mostly
we really
Disney.
Screwed up.
It's mostly Disney stock. I mean, if you go and look at the stock today, like it actually kind of jumped a little bit more. Well, it's up 6% today. I'm sorry. I'm speaking out of
it's across the board. There's so many things that Disney was doing wrong that
year to date
anyone can name
60%.
any example.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, he had to know they fucking hated him because let me tell you a story. I can't name the companies because then I would get sued.
Knowing you're hated though is different from being replaced.
Right. But what I mean is, like, at companies this big, like, there was a scandal at a company that I know about where there involved a mass sale of like used vehicles to foreign countries while they got a new fleet in at this American company.
Yeah.
And it came out that the guy in charge was skimming off the top. And here's where I tell you, like, they fucking hate him. And he had to know this, is they give you the opportunity to resign.
Oh,
even when you're caught stealing.
Yeah.
Even when you're caught stealing, like just plain stealing. Like you said, you sold the cars for $60,000, the vehicles for $60,000, and you actually sold them for $75,000 and took $15,000 off the top. They still let this guy just like, I'm gonna resign and go work at another company. So for them to not let Chapek resign is like, I'm like, you had to know they were like, you that doesn't happen at companies like Disney, you know, like. These millionaires have a secret millionaires club and they protect each other a lot, you know, and I am telling you, they would have been like, why don't you step aside? It's time to step away. We're going to bring, you know, the big gun in or whatever. And it just doesn't
But
happen
also like
that.
The corporate world could also, I mean, they do terrible, scummy things. It also could be one of those things where you bring in the new guy, have the new guy make all the tough choices.
Yep.
You know, like, because the parks were overcrowded and like you could bring in the new guy, have him make the cuts and then boot him out, bring back the old guy, and he comes in and everyone's like, you're back, yeah. And the old guy, you know, all those things they did, they're not going to change.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, we'll do things differently from now on. So they could get the cuts done. And that's a scheme they've been doing for years in business world. So it could be that too. You never know.
Yeah, the cult of personality era definitely has changed that. I didn't realize last night as it happened, and like I had people texting me with like text filled with jubilation. Like people were so excited for Iger to be back, and I was like, I thought we hated rich people. Like, what's happening here? Why is everyone praising Iger for being back? And then I like went and researched him, and he's like generally just a nice person. Like,
I think it comes down, it comes down to people. He's a face, you know what I mean? Like a lot of companies would kill for a face that had fan popularity.
Yeah,
and so he's a face, and people
like
recognize him.
Yeah, like Reggie
Fils-Aimé.
Yeah,
you can't buy that kind of likability, y'all. You need to understand, like he was walking around PAX West, and people were like, "That's Reggie."
Yeah, Reggie's awesome.
Gamers hate everybody, you know. So like to have
it's like a Phil Spencer
that has Reggie. Is
a Chris Metzen,
yeah, Chris Metzen, Phil Spencer.
People love
there's
Reggie.
all these the things that's important. I think that going back to Reggie and Chris and them, they all left, and when they left, their companies, the like face of them disappeared, and now people like can easily shit on them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Xbox, Phil's still around, still doing his thing,
crushing it,
and like he sells it. When Phil goes and does an interview, you're like, I know he's doing the business thing, but also like he said that was a good point. That was a good point he just said. And you buy in very easily.
Phil's the type of guy that invites you to go ski on a podcast like he did me and Zeke. And then when we try to follow up, he's like, who the fuck are you? Right? But the fact he did that is still, you know, it's a likable gesture regardless.
Yeah. Following him a lot in the last, year or so as they try to do this whole buying all of the games in the world thing. It's interesting to watch him spin stuff, and you can see him. He's just very clearly good at it.
Oh,
just like, Metzen
incredibly media trained. And Metzen is
Metzen would make a convention like a BlizzCon where there was nothing to do. bro.
Yeah.
There was nothing to do. And he'd make it, you'd be like, yeah, I'm so hyped to be here. Even though after the first day, you're like, well, all right, I guess we're here for another day.
Yeah.
But still, you were hyped to be there because the face got you. Reggie's another great example. Those videos where he'd sit there and be like, hey, it's me, Reggie, and we're doing Nintendo stuff. And now it's just not the same, man. It's just not the same.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So everyone's very excited that Iger was in. I didn't realize, I saw this going around last night too, that he was in one of those masterclass videos. Iger was.
Yeah.
And apparently it's like the best masterclass that they have ever put out. Like people swear by it and say that it's incredible. Like I was looking at it last night, like, oh, what do everyone says so good? Like, what? Maybe I should. Maybe I didn't do it, but
Right.
they said it's like the #1 masterclass out there. So seems like he's beloved. So cool to see him back. Hopefully everything that he touches turns to gold again. And
I mean, I have to imagine nothing will really change. Like he's back. They'll still keep doing what they're doing. And
anything that positive does happen, people are gonna be like, "Here we go,
He did
Iger.
it, yes.
Here we go."
Iger's
absolutely crushing
yes.
it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we will have to see. We're going to Bronze's favorite territory now. That's right.
Yes.
Iron Fist.
God, not this, please.
Jessica Henwick is out there teasing Colleen Wing's Iron Fist return. Not confirmed.
Is that true?
But just
Okay, but
teasing
wait,
it.
that's not horrible. Because if she's teasing it, because old boy fucking tweeted straight up he wanted another shot. Did y'all see that? And
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
But if she's teasing it, then it's like, hey, Colleen Wing could come back.
Here's
Not
the
that guy.
Here's the full thing. She says, quote, I love Finn. Finn is such a sweetheart. Henwick said, learning about Jones's endorsement of Henwick playing Iron Fist in a Shang-Chi sequel. If we're talking canon, the way the story ended, she had a fist. She was okay. If we're talking canon, the way the story ended, she had a fist. She was ready to fist. That's what it seemed to hit her. The teases of a possible return might be going too far. But he had his own power, she declared. Oh God, let's stop talking about this. By the end of season 2 of Iron Fist, Jones's Danny Rand had transferred the powers of Iron Fist to Henwick's Colleen, and she used those powers to, well, okay, that's just straight spoilers. So, does it say anything here at the end? It would be nice to see Colleen, not Colleen. It would be nice to see Colleen come back and still have that Iron Fist as well. I think it would be cool if she showed up in Shang-Chi and still had the Iron Fist. There's so much possibility you could do with this from where we left off in season 2. I'd be okay with that. It would be kind of strange,
Her
but
coming
still.
back, like I said, still makes a lot more sense than the other dude whose name I can't think of right now.
Finn Jones, I think.
Finn
right?
Jones.
I think that's his name.
Because like that story, the story's already been told. It's moved on, and he's like, I want another crack at it, and I'm like, shouldn't you want your coworkers to have a crack at it since that's where the storytelling kind of went?
Yeah.
Like, you're not the Iron Fist anymore.
Yeah. One would hope, Bronze. One would hope. The other last bit of news, I think, unless there's something else that I'm missing, rather sad news. Chris Hemsworth confirmed that he is now taking time off after receiving a health warning, and that health warning is that he is genetically predisposed, thank you, to develop Alzheimer's, which is very, very awful. That came during
it makes sense to me that he would want to take a break, because a lot of people are like, what? And I'm like, probably wants to spend time with people, like, and enjoy his life a little, like, before, because he doesn't know if he's going to be able to do that later.
Yes. The full thing is, the news was revealed to Hemsworth during an episode of Limitless, which is a National Geographic docuseries that he stars on Disney Plus. As Hemsworth learned his genes contain 2 copies of the APOE4 gene, one from each of his parents, a combination that reportedly leads to an increased risk of Alzheimer's. According to Hemsworth, he will be taking a short break to spend time with his family after the series made him reevaluate his own mortality. They didn't go into like what the percentages of, but I
I
think
believe it's a 30% increased chance. So like most people
it's pretty high.
most people can develop dementia or Alzheimer's the older you get.
Yeah.
But people that are predisposed can develop it as early as 50, which is truly, truly unfortunate.
It's awful, yeah. And there's no cure.
Yeah,
There's
and I
no
work
cure for
at an elderly
Alzheimer's.
person facility, helping these people, and sometimes it's manageable, and that's always great, and then sometimes you have to send them to, like, a skilled nursing facility, which is always really sad, and so take care of your mental health, friends, because there's a lot of ways to prevent Alzheimer's, and one of them is staying mentally active,
Yeah.
and doing puzzles and, things like that, so
Yeah, not a fun news story for sure. I think Alzheimer's is for a lot of people like a massive fear for it happening.
Yes.
It's a pretty awful situation.
It wasn't for me until I worked that job
and
for, like,
got
the better
to see
part
it.
of a year. Yes, like, we had the one that always sticks out to me is we had a couple in our building, and, the wife developed Alzheimer's, and it was, like, really rapid how quickly, like, her mind degenerated,
Uh-huh.
and she forgot how to speak English. And she had been speaking English for 20 plus years of, her life, I think 30 plus years actually. And then all of a sudden forgot how to speak English and her husband did not speak a word of Japanese. And so now they're like I think they were like nearing their 80s and they couldn't talk to each other anymore.
Yeah.
And that was the most depressing thing I had ever seen in my life. Like, I was just like, how did like, the human brain is a fascinating thing. She could speak perfect Japanese, and she was, like, still, like, pretty alert and aware. It's just like she had just forgotten how to speak English rather rapidly.
Yeah, not
Human
a
brains are crazy, y'all. Human brains are crazy, and Alzheimer's and dementia are really depressing.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
I didn't
without a
last
doubt.
long at that job for obvious reasons.
I would think the turnover rate is pretty high. That's not a great thing to
Well,
be
the thing
around
is,
for
it's
your own
like,
health.
you know how people love animals? Like, I love animals too, but I love old people like that, and there's no other way to describe it. Like, I just think they're cute, and you know how some people are like, "Oh, like, if I ever see someone beating their dog, I have to, like, I have to get involved
Step
or I have
in.
to, like, whoop their ass." That's me with the elderly. I'm like, if someone mistreats an elderly person, like, I have to personally get involved and, like, whoop their ass, you know? I don't know why, that's just my line. I view them as, like, cute and have to be protected, okay?
Sure.
And I was lucky enough to work in a facility where, like, if people so many people think, like, all these old people are, like, racist and shit. I had to arrange a bus to take them to go vote, and they were all wearing, like, Bernie Sanders hats. So, a lot of them are not as horrible as you think they would be, right? And they were, like, all so cute and had, like, their hobbies were, like, in being in barbershop quartets and talking about World War II,
Old-timey
and they were
stuff.
adorable. Yeah. And then you would just talk to someone every day, and one day they wouldn't say hello to you that morning, and it was the worst thing in the world, and I would not do it again. I regret taking that job in the first place. Happy I got to forge those connections with people, but was also like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself if I continue to work here because it's like, it's too much." Like,
Sure.
you know?
Well, the silver
Yeah, and
lining
even,
is
like
at least you're aware of it now, right? Like you learned the
yes,
respect of it.
yes.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that veterinarians have the highest suicide rate of any other occupation, followed very closely by EMTs.
I think
I think it
dentists are
was.
number one.
Oh, was it dentist? And the
That's 'cause I
vet
see
thing
everyone's
made
mouth
sense
and they're
to
like,
me.
"Oh my god, it's hopeless."
I forget what I read a very like detailed reasoning why dentist was the highest suicide rate at one point. It might not be anymore, but I forget exactly why. I don't know if it was like the idea that you're looked upon as kind of like the joke doctor, like and
Oh, I hadn't thought of
like your
that.
peers in the doctor world necessarily don't respect what you're doing and respect your work, something like that.
I thought it was because everybody hated them.
That also, I think, played a role in it.
Hi,
is that
dentist. I love you.
People
I
have
love
a
you,
fear of
dentist.
dentists. Yeah.
Well, I like dentists, but, I feel like it would be hard to consistently deal with clients that are like, "This is the worst thing I ever have to do." I don't like being here and I don't like you. Because usually you don't treat your other doctors that way. You know, no one's going to the optometrist like, this again, another eye exam. My fucking enemy, you loathsome cretin. Do your work quickly. You know, but dentist people are like, that's what I'm like. I'm like, get in there, do what you got to do, get out. You have 45 minutes. After that, I start swinging.
Yeah, for me, it's a good dentist is someone that like realizes that everyone hates them and they do everything to make sure that you don't hate the experience. But those are hard to find.
Me, a good dentist.
Some people just like, you know, some dentists are just there to do the work, and that's it. What were we gonna say, Jesse? A bad joke?
I wasn't gonna make a dirty joke.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna do. I was gonna be serious and at an adult level of this conversation.
Okay. Glad you didn't.
Also, speaking of the brain, I've been thinking about this since you mentioned it, Bronze.
Let's hear it.
If you ever want to get really tripped up and messed up, go research. I can think of, you'll probably find at least 5 or 6, maybe 10 examples. People who end up in a coma and wake up speaking a different language.
Oh,
that
yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I love those.
Yeah.
There's a guy who I think he played football or soccer. And this was recent. He was in a coma, woke up speaking French. He's like, I'm not French. Speaks French. Crazy. Yeah. And I think one guy woke up thinking he was Matthew McConaughey, which is a whole other thing. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Look it up. The brain's wild, man.
Brain is wild.
But also, just like, yeah, take care of yourselves, man. You know,
true.
Take care of yourselves.
Gotta look after one another.
Get some physical exercise. There's a lot of good Alzheimer's studies out there on like what keeps it a little bit at bay, and you know, yeah, just take time to solve puzzles once in a while, even if it's your daily Wordle, and test your, you know, like just test your brain.
Video games. Yeah. Video games will do it.
Video games are actually, yes. Video games are a very good way to like keep the brain's elasticity kind of like, you know.
Yeah. I spoke with a scientist who was studying Alzheimer's, and he said the best way to prevent Alzheimer's is to rank the 30 films in the MCU. So if you want to do that, head over to mcucrew.com/rankings, because that
I don't think he did.
Is what we're about to do. Guys, how the hell did what's going on? How did Spider-Man get to the top? Were you riding on that recency bias right here?
I think we were riding on they gave us a fan movie.
Like, that's crazy, right? Like, that's number 1 right now?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, here's the thing. Spider-Man, I think the reason Spider-Man No Way Home sits at the top is it did what a lot of MCU films fail to do, which is combine some of the best scenes ever, the best moments ever, and still have a really clear, amazing, concise plotline. But I will die on the hill that the Green Goblin versus Spider-Man fight in that apartment is the most savage shit we've ever seen in the MCU. He pile drives him through like 40 floors. It was glorious to behold, and somehow still translated into a movie that didn't just have a bunch of good individual moments, but like a good overall narrative.
But it's the best of the MCU.
I think for me it might be. I think it might be.
I think we were in a Avengers Infinity War versus Spider-Man No Way Home moment. And I honestly don't know. Like, here's the thing. You can say to me, is it the best in the MCU? And I'll be like, I don't know. But would I be against it being number 1? No. Like, okay. I have such a zero commitment to it being number 1. I just don't care. I'm like, I enjoyed it so much that if you want to make it 1, fine, it's 1. But if you want to move it, like, that's fine too, because I also really enjoyed Infinity War. Again, the top ones are so amorphous to me that it doesn't bother me at all. Like, none of that bothers me. The problem is the middle ones. The middle ones I'll fight and die on plenty of hills. Be like, no way is that better.
Well, hey, this is the day. The one day a year, Jesse Cox, where we can change the list. So if we're going to do it, let's hear it. Let's hear the arguments. I don't think No Way Home should be number 1, but Jesse's not super into it. And Bronze is very strong.
I'm not committal. I don't care. What do you think should be number 1, though?
One of the Avengers films. Endgame or Infinity War.
I don't think Endgame deserves to be number 1.
I think the last
has one phenomenal scene.
The last 30 minutes of Endgame is like really good, but yeah.
The rest is like all right. What'd you say?
But also Infinity War is also
Infinity War is phenomenal. Infinity War I think is one of the best ones.
Here's the thing. I would be okay with Infinity War at 1 as long as Endgame stays at 3, because I personally think Infinity War is a better movie than Endgame. But
Agreed.
I also feel
completely.
like Spider-Man No Way Home, the reason I like that one is because it told a complete story and set up for the next movie all in one movie without trying to set up, I guess, like a shit ton of stuff for the MCU. Like, I think what was refreshing about that movie is that it felt complete, almost like, if that makes
About
sense,
Infinity War? Is
itself.
that what you're saying?
No, Spider-Man.
Oh,
Like, it didn't
about
feel like it
Spider-Man,
was
okay.
just trying to set up shit for other MCU films, which is kind of the big problem that a lot of movies have, is where it's like, oh, we have to set up, like, you know, Ant-Man, and we have to set up all this other stuff. To me, No Way Home felt like it was like, we're just committing to Spider-Man in this one and setting up the next Spider-Man movie. We're not going to try to tell you what's going to happen, you know, with the next Doctor Strange movie. Like, it was almost refreshing in that it was like truly committed to like this character.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think Infinity War might be a better film, but Spider-Man No Way Home had Tobey Maguire, and it gave me everything I wanted, and frankly, that's fine. I'm fine with it being 1. I'm going to give it the Tobey bump.
So Tobey gives you the number 1?
Yes. Tobey
bump?
gives me number 1. Yes. I'm giving it the Tobey bump. Tobey.
That means something
you have
else
Spider-Man
in his
and
circles.
Doc
The
have a
Tobey
moment-
bump is
when
something
Spider-Man-
completely else in those. Sorry, I'm just letting you
When
know.
Spider-Man and Doc Ock have a moment, that's the Tobey bump. Tobey
It's
bump,
better.
bro.
Hold
Tobey
on.
Bump.
But
The Tobey bump.
the Thanos snap is arguably the best moment of the entire
Tobey
MCU.
Maguire was not in that moment. Tobey bump.
He wasn't. He probably got snapped though. Oh no, I guess that was different multiverse. So maybe not.
different universe. He did not get snapped. Tobey bump.
Here's
I
the
gotta
thing
give it
though.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Here's
Tobey
the
bump.
thing. You don't go and look at all these other movies and think, did that guy bump Toby? But you do think, what was he doing during the snap?
I'm saying that of the 2 movies that I think deserve to be first place, only one of them has Tobey Maguire. The Tobey bump. You know what? It's not fair, but it's true. It's what it is. And shout out to Frodo in chat. And
what?
It made
Frodo's in your chat?
it made the
Get
Andrew
them out, dude.
Garfield.
What are you doing?
It made the Andrew Garfield movies a little bit better. It retroactively made old crappy movies a little bit not great.
Sure.
It retroactively made them a little bit better.
You know, that's actually a really interesting point, Jesse, because I feel like it acknowledged how far or how much filmmaking has changed in the superhero sphere. I do feel those movies acknowledge that. Like, at one point, Andrew Garfield said, like, you fought this dude? All I fought was a guy in a rhino suit. Like, I truly feel like they acknowledge, like, oh, movies have changed. Let's be nicer to the Maguire movies. Because for some people, Maguire is their Spider-Man. And like when people dunk on, especially like Spider-Man 1 and 2, which were not horrible films in my opinion, it kind of sucks because it's like, okay, but like at the time these came out, this was like an amazing
Spider-Man 2 is
movie.
Phenomenal. I'll fight people
like,
on that one.
This was a great movie
The original
when it came
Spider-Man
out.
2.
Yeah, and in hindsight, like, you know, you might look at that and be like, oh, well, that was such a cheesy or corny movie. And it's like, well, no, first of all, it's a different time, and second of all, like, you know, because when I was a little baby, that was my Spider-Man too, if that makes sense. Like, you know, so I kind of like that they kind of like, I guess, like bridge that gap of being like, if you were to put if these actors are younger and you were to put them in Spider-Man now, especially Tobey, like he would have ate. He was a good Spider-Man in his movie. It was just a different style of filmmaking.
He was a great Peter Parker as well.
If you put him, if he was the right age and you put him in the new Marvel movies, he would have still ate. And I like that he kind of got that redemption, if that makes sense.
I think that the Spider-Man No Way Home and Avengers Infinity War are roughly the same movie. They are fan service to the extreme.
Infinity War, I would say Endgame is fan service to the extreme.
Infinity War is the first time all the characters on screen together. You know what I mean? Like, the ending of Endgame is peak fan service, the most fan servicey moment in the history of fan service. It exists to be a spectacle.
Yes.
It's amazing. And frankly, I'm excited that they're like,
let's do it again.
For the next big movie, we're going to do it even bigger. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Totally here for it. But I think Infinity War as a spectacle film, if we're going to bring all these characters you know and love to one movie, I think Spider-Man No Way Home is the exact same thing, but it's instead of being in the MCU, it's Spider-Man across the universes together in a movie that none of us, it's like, oh, wow, I didn't think anyone had the balls to do something this crazy, but here we are. And, again, I have no horse. If Infinity War becomes one again, which it was for a long time, great. Like, whatever. It's a one film.
Well,
here's
the deal.
Yeah.
I think I'm for Infinity War going one. Bronze is for Spider-Man No Way Home staying. So you're the breaker. You got to break it. You got to make the decision, Jesse. It's in your hands.
Oh, well then I'm going to say don't change anything.
Just leave it how it is because it's how it was.
Well, you see, I'm what they call a businessman, JP.
Yeah.
And my hope is that people will see this list and be like, no, number one is Spider-Man. Why, I'm outraged. And we'll tweet and link it.
That's correct.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. All right. For that reason, it stays.
The Toby Bump, though. If they,
you got to stop saying Toby Bump. That's
to cap it, though. To cap it,
if they need to ask why,
yes.
Toby Bump.
Yeah, and watch this video. But I think also I just want to say I just gotta predicate why I'm so pro Spider-Man being number one.
Okay.
I need to let y'all know I am not a Spider-Man fan. Okay. I was never a Spider-Man fan. And I feel like those movies made me a Spider-Man fan. And to me, that's it's like a different, even Homecoming. I was not into the Vulture. And then I saw Keaton play the Vulture. And I was like, I'm in. I love this movie. I'm a Spider-Man fan now. And just, I don't know what it is. I didn't like the second movie in that trilogy, but Infinity War had everything going for it in terms of if you're already a fan, you will love everything in it. But Spider-Man, I never even watched the Andrew Garfield movies. And, like I said, the Tobey Maguire ones I liked. That was definitely my Spider-Man, growing up. But it's weird because it made me a huge fan and it made me super excited for the next Spider-Man movie. And this is normally not a movie I would have ran to theaters for. It was a movie I would have watched because I watch all the MCU movies. But now it's oh yeah, next Spider-Man movie, I'm fucking going opening night. I'm very excited for it. And that's just weird for me because as you can tell from my backdrop, it's a lot of Doctor Strange and Iron Man. He was never, Peter Parker was never in my top even 10 superheroes.
Yeah.
Never gave a fuck about him like that. And now I'm he still isn't, but I love him. I love him.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. We do need to rank ye old Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We never finished that because Jesse had the heart out last week, and I said we're not doing it. We're waiting. I think we were hovering around was it 14, 13? And then someone I think Bronze brought up I think both of you brought up how the fuck is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 14? And I said we're done. We're stopping. So we can have that whole conversation now.
Well, all right. Just going from the top down, I think the order that we have the first at least 12, I think we're good. I don't think there's anything I want to change there.
No, Jesse, you can't do that. We can't look at the first 12 because I'm not ready to look at them yet. We have to just look
at
But
I'm saying that I don't think we even need to look at them. I think
okay. Let me look now. All right.
Doctor Strange is kind of high.
Because Bronze fought for that one.
I know she did.
And she, look, we all
Civil War is a better movie than Doctor Strange.
Okay, wait.
I don't know how the fuck Look, this is real weird. This is weird. How the fuck is that 14?
That's weird. I agree. I also have another controversial one. Now that it's settled.
Okay.
I think Shang-Chi benefited from it being new and shiny.
Have you watched that film a second time?
Yes. And I liked it, but I don't think it's a better film than Homecoming. Because I've rewatched Homecoming 7 times. And I have only rewatched Shang-Chi 3 times. And I think Homecoming is a stronger film. And Shang-Chi has some of my favorite shit ever, that love story thing they had going on. And Tony Leung is I have such a huge crush on him. But there are parts of Shang-Chi that I fast forward through. If that makes sense.
The first half of Shang-Chi is better than the second half. I'll say that.
If we're doing this, I think Captain
100%.
America Winter Soldier is better than Thor Ragnarok, but I know. That's just me.
Oh.
That's just Jesse. That's just Jesse.
I'm on board with that.
I am willing to entertain this proposition.
Well, then we're making it. We don't even need to entertain it. It's happening.
No. But I want to know why. Cox, state your reasoning.
I just think that overall, Winter Soldier is a better film overall. And Ragnarok, while it's entertaining, I think there's a lot of moments in Ragnarok that are, it's I will say, having seen the newest Thor movie, Love and Thunder, and the comedy angle that they went with there, and they went too far into it, going back and watching Thor Ragnarok, you can see like a lot of the heavier notes of the movie are undercut by the fact that it's trying to be goofy the entire time. While Captain America Winter Soldier, it knows what it is. It does what it does. It is a spy thriller with superheroes. And it's like, from start to finish, just a well-made movie. It just is.
I'm okay with bumping it up. I got to swap over here real quick. What?
Would like the delegation of bronze.
Yes.
Feels like they brought this up last time. And I'm so happy it's finally sinking, because I remember harking on that the Hulk bridge scene where I was like, the Hulk's narrative in this film is actually very fucking depressing, because it's like he's been trapped as the Hulk for many years and Banner's finally free, and everyone's like, you're not useful to us when you're not free. And then they had that scene where he leaps off of the airplane down to the Rainbow Bridge and he lands on his face. And I was like, they kept playing it for comedy, which for me as a Hulk fan really fucking hurt, because this is actually really depressing. It's a really depressing storyline, and they keep trying to play it for laughs. And I'm not against comedy. It's just one of those things, like, it's hard for me to laugh at that, like, especially when someone has a dialogue where they're saying, like, normally me and the Hulk both have one hand on the wheel, but this time it was like just the other guy, and I wasn't even in the back seat, I was in the trunk. I think he says something like that. And it's like, gosh, that's like really sad. And then it immediately cuts back to like, okay, but can you turn into him real quick? And it's I understand that like Thor is kind of supposed to be an idiot, so it made sense. But I felt like that character was kind of stepped on to make it funny, versus like I felt like he deserved better. And everyone's like, oh, you're a Hulk fangirl, which I am. But now I think y'all are kind of like, especially what Jesse said, I think you're kind of better understanding where it's like, it's hard to have like a narrative hook when you then play, like, I don't know, when the humor undercuts that. And like the fact that Love and Thunder was a film about a character having cancer and dying, and then it ends with like a monologue with Taika Waititi being like, and he was love and she was thunder, and then they went and they fought, and this kid's basically a child soldier now. And you're like, what the fuck is this? A character just died, and you guys are like, she's a child soldier, I guess. So it's like, I don't know, it like kind of kicks itself in the balls a little bit, where you have like, so yeah, I agree, I guess is what I'm saying. I would also put Winter Soldier at 4.
I think the thing about Thor Ragnarok, that the reason why it was higher is because when you look at Thor Ragnarok versus the other two Thor movies, it's such a better film than those two.
Yeah,
it stands out, and you're like, wow, that was so much better than the first two Thor movies. Incredible. We finally have a Thor movie that's entertaining, and I want to rewatch this movie.
But also reshape Thor completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the difference is, the problem is that Ragnarok and then Love and Thunder, it's the typical it's the same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's typical Hollywood bullshit where they double down on what they thought people loved, and it was like, yeah, let them make a full space comedy. But it's like, you can't have, again,
it's very interesting
with like Love and Thunder's crazy because it is played for comedy 90% of the film, and then the 10% where the villain is on screen, terrifying.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were thinking when they were making this movie. Makes no sense.
Love and Thunder.
It's crazy.
I need like when we first reviewed it, I feel like I was hard on it, but I was still, there was parts, but like the more I go back and think about it, like I want to become one of those YouTubers that makes like a 2-hour like video essay
There's so much
describing
wrong
how
with
they broke my fucking heart with it, because like you're truly right. Like Christian Bale fucking ate in that role, and like there was no narrative redressal for the shit that happens to his character, because his whole point is like, and he did such a good job selling it to us, it's like the gods are pieces of fucking shit, right? Like his kid dies, and these callous losers think they're so much better than him. And then Thor experiences that firsthand when he goes and asks these people for his help. And he's met with hubris, he's met with elitism, he's met with like all these horrible fucking qualities, and he sees firsthand that the gods don't care about anybody. They're jokingly talking about who had the most followers sacrificed this year. Like it's a fucking joke to them. Humanity's a joke to them.
Right.
Where is the narrative through line? Where at the end did we feel like Thor comes to term with like what his own godhood means, or whether gods are pieces? There is none. If you go back and watch, there's absolutely nothing at the end for you to be like, wow, like they really addressed it. It's like, there's just there. I never got like a. And then here's what really kills me, okay? Because this is why I brought up the child soldier thing. Does no one else think it's like a little bit ironic that her name is Love, and then he has her like slaughtering people at the end? Like, and does anybody else think it's crazy, like the dystopian nature of like you think he's getting her ready for school, and then you realize he's like getting her ready to go on a battlefield? Like, do you think that was the life that Gore wanted for his kid, was to go around like murdering people? Like, I'm serious. Like her name is Love, and you see her doing the complete opposite of that in the closing things of the movie. Like this movie's supposed to be all about love or whatever, and then he's like electrocuting people. And those might be bad guys, but I'm just questioning, like, would you want that for your child if you had a kid? Would you be like, yes, I hope my child is raised by the man who killed me to be a warrior? How is that different from Gamora's story? It's not. It's like, why is she living that life? It would have been cuter if he sent her to MIT to be a scientist like Jane Foster. That would have been a much cuter fucking story than, and I get she's a kid, so we can't send her to MIT. But you know what I mean? Like, it would have been cuter if she, like, becomes a scientist to be, like, the smart, brainy Thor, And instead, it's like, it's just weird to name a kid Love and then have the closing credits being with them with an axe in their hand. I mean, maybe I'm thinking too hard.
You can love fighting. You can love war.
It's
also from Asgardian and Norse culture, which like they probably do love fighting and love war.
But also the movie had, okay, hey, we're gonna leave Sif for some reason out of Ragnarok, bring her back as a joke. She lost an arm, hilarious, and then we're gonna do my least favorite trope in the history of tropes in all movies, where they're like, okay, you know what people love? When a group of kids fight the bad guys.
Not
only are child actors our favorite, we're going to have the child actors act like they're in combat with green screen things. I absolutely hate when they, like, even when like Star Wars, when anytime anything is like, the children will be the warriors. It's like, this sucks. I don't want to watch these kids have superpowers. I just don't care.
Well,
they're all like, Master Anakin. You're like, oh my God.
We are getting off a little bit of the narrative because we're talking about Thor Ragnarok. Are you guys through all this ranting saying we should move Thor Love and Thunder lower? Is that what this whole rant was about? But how far do we put it?
The rant didn't come from left field because Jesse specified that Love and Thunder made Ragnarok, like, kind of had to reevaluate Ragnarok. That's why we're moving Ragnarok. But I think that also means we have to move Love and Thunder.
Yes.
I'm okay. Look, I have two things to move. I'm okay with Thor Love and Thunder. I think we were too nice to Eternals.
You don't think we were too mean to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
I think that Thor Love and Thunder is worse than Guardians 2, but I think Guardians 2 suffers from the exact same problem as
It's the exact same problem, yeah.
Does.
But I think Guardians 2 is better. I liked Guardians 2.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna have a movie that's just bit after bit after bit after bit, I will say that Guardians 2's bits landed better.
Absolutely.
And I will say
Agreed.
that Love and Thunder has turned me off of the Taika Waititi monologue or voiceover, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it was too much Taika. Here's the best way that I can relate to it is when watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I didn't think, man, they're really going for these laughs. It was, I just laughed.
Yep.
Then I watched Thor Love and Thunder. It's like, wow, they're really going, like, this is really
they're trying
completely
hard.
Tone shifted. Mm-hmm. Like, that person's got cancer, and now we're talking about how a hammer's pulling them off again. Like, it's It's
The
just
whole
complete,
story about the hammer being jealous or the
so
axe
bizarre.
being jealous.
Yeah.
It was so weird. It had no point.
I'm okay with Love and Thunder being
This is what
dropped.
I mean when like there's like a lack of like narrative through line. Like I thought there was going to be something about the axe being jealous or whatever. It was just a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yes, it was a series of bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That said, the goat bit was pretty good, and so we could bump it up.
You know what? First time, great. 2 hours into the movie when they're fighting an evil villain and he's like holding the axe and it's like, oh shit, this dude's about to get the keys to like go to eternity. And then in the background, it's like, shut up. You know what? Not the time. Not even the time.
It still makes me laugh. But it should look. I'm okay.
Crazy.
We got if we're dropping this. How far is it going? Because I think it could drop.
I think it should be.
It could drop.
I think it deserves the punishment below Iron Man 2.
Is this an Iron? I mean, look, I loved Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think
it's below Iron Man 2.
Is it below
I
Iron
like
Man 3?
Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, JP, but we got like piled on that one because I really liked
Yeah, you did.
Jesse tells the story.
Because Jesse was like, I fell asleep during it. I've never fallen asleep during a movie. And I was like, maybe you're just old and sleepy.
But the villain in
the
first Ant-Man and the Wasp was so much worse than the second.
But it wasn't about the villain. It was about
so
the main character, and the villain was just there. Ant-Man and the Wasp, they tried to make a cool villain, and like, not a great villain. Like, not fleshed out. Like, cool concept, not fleshed out.
Since we're moving, Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is going up. Yeah, 20.
It's never getting higher than 20.
Iron Man 2 should be above Age of Ultron.
No.
False.
No.
Think
False.
No.
No.
Ruled 2-1 Democratic.
No. But like Hammer was so good in Iron Man 2.
The court has spoken.
No, Iron Man 2 sucks ass. That movie's butts.
No, I like Iron Man 2 a lot. I don't think it's better than Age of Ultron. The beginning of Age of Ultron, the scene where they're just all hanging out, is some of my favorite things in the entirety of the MCU.
I just hate the second half of Age of Ultron so much worse than I hate the second half of Iron Man 2.
I hate all of Iron Man 2. So, I mean, that's a thing.
Here's the thing.
That's a lie.
The next conversation that I will bring in front of the court is Eternals needs to drop. The time has not been kind to Eternals. The MCU doesn't even care about Eternals and what happens in that film.
I would say Eternals is worse than Black Widow.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I would
think
put it
Eternals,
behind Black Widow.
I'm going to let you know. This is, I think, Eternals is, man, I'm going to say it's worse than Thor, The Dark World.
No, what?
I'm moving it there, and let's hear why Bronze disagrees.
I want to hear why. I want to hear why you would rather rewatch Dark World than you would rather rewatch Eternals. I want to hear
because the science bits in Dark World are interesting.
I will say,
for me,
Dark World, not a good movie. It's full of itself. It's like it's a bizarre, totally fool yourself film. It is very weird. The villains are completely underdeveloped. The story makes no sense. Jane Foster, like getting imbued with goo, makes no sense. None of it makes any sense.
Okay.
Still makes more sense than anything that happened in Eternals.
the MCU doesn't even think about Eternals. They don't even factor in what happened in Eternals into the rest of the film.
Okay, you know what? That's true. They do factor in Dark World.
It's a fucking stone.
Dark World's important.
It's an Infinity Stone. Yeah.
Well, not just Infinity Stone. Like it was a huge part of Loki. It was like the
there's a lot of reasons. Yeah. Like Eternals is treated as the movie that never occurred to the MCU thus far.
True.
There have been zero references to the greater MCU from Eternals. And we talked about A Man in the Ocean every fucking week this year.
Yeah.
We also had a giant guy appear on the side of Earth.
Nobody cares.
We also had the Black Knight pop up.
Nobody cared. Everyone has forgotten. I guarantee 90% of the audience has forgotten that Jon Snow is even in the MCU.
Yeah.
He was barely in that movie, and they're like, he's important, though. And then a man, literally, Icarus, literally flew into the sun. Fuck everyone involved with that choice. Flew into the sun? Come on now.
The most important thing that
now.
Eternals did for the greater population of the fandom of the MCU was introduce Harry Styles into the MCU. That's what everyone remembers from that film.
I don't know who that is, so I will never.
Okay, well that's a you
the problem
thing.
with Eternals is every actor. I think they nailed well. Like all the actors in it, the casting is great. It's the contents of the movie that are insane.
Yeah.
Like everything about it on paper. If you were to say this is the cast, these are the characters, I'd be like, oh shit, that seems awesome. But what goes on in the film is bonkers town from start to finish.
I know. I think that's why it's hard for me to put it like below Dark World. I'm not saying it's a good movie, but like it was a lot of. It's like one of the first truly like diverse like Marvel movies.
Sure.
And it was so
Agreed.
cool to see like Kingo and like to see Salma fucking Hayek.
She was in the
MCU. What did they do to Selma? What did they do to Selma though?
I know, but do you remember how upset I was where I was like, how dare you bait us?
Yeah.
You fucking I felt jebaited. What you should have seen my face watching that movie when she dies in the first half. Because I was like, whoa. You put Salma Hayek in a cowboy hat with that delicious ass in fucking Levi's jeans in the trailer. And that's how you got my money.
Yeah.
And I feel like you lied to me. At this point, you lied to me.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because there was not nearly enough Salma Hayek in a cowboy hat, Wrangler's jean commercial style. Okay. And that I did feel like that was a bit of a targeted hate crime to those of us that are Salma fans. Because it definitely felt like it was like, wait, how the hell are you going to bait us with Selma and then like not put her
really quickly. And then what happened to Kingo?
Oh my God, he just left in the final bat. No,
he just fucking left.
He said he wasn't going to choose.
Put it at 30. Put it at 30. Put it at 30. Put it at 30. Put it at 30.
No, well, it's going to be 29. It's going to be the second worst film in the MCU because Black Panther's going up.
It's so hard because some of those people fucking ate. Like I liked Makari. I liked Makari.
Oh, the individual performances are great, but the writing and story was bad. It was fucking bonkers.
It makes like literally there's a moment where they're like, Kingo, you have to decide the fate of the universe, and he's like,
Kingo.
I choose to go home.
I loved Kingo.
I can't believe they had the audacity to do that.
And the part that made me mad is by him not choosing, he chose, and we all know that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we all know he's smart enough to know that. So like that. But like, remember his cameraman? Remember how funny those bits were?
He was great, which is why it makes no sense that he would look at his cameraman and say, I choose not to save your world. Instead, I'm going to go back with you and not get you've doomed your friend.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I feel like they just didn't want Kingo in the last fight. I really feel like that. Because it's kind of implied that Kingo is one of the better fighters. Like, it's definitely, like, with his little finger guns, like, it's kind of implied that he fucks, you know? So, God damn it. Okay, fine.
Chad is starting to infiltrate my brainscape and say that Incredible Hulk is better than Eternals.
Can I tell you something? Incredible Hulk and Eternals are now at the exact same spot because they're both being forced out. Like, Incredible Hulk is being welcomed. It was forced out, and now they're welcoming parts of it back in. While Eternals, they're actively trying to remove it from canon.
Yeah, I mean, Abomination is who you're referencing there. And also Thunderbolt Ross is going to be in Thunderbolts. A different actor, though. But
I mean, the same actor was brought back before he passed away, so like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Leader. That's right. They're bringing the Leader back. That's going to be an important film.
You motherfucker.
Is
Eternals the worst film in the MCU?
Yes. Fine.
I mean, Incredible Hulk is bad. Like, it's not good.
When was the last time y'all watched it?
The delegation of Bronze wants to say that my hatred of Eternals is because of the wasted potential.
I think we all feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Eternals has so many better characters and better acted characters than like Dark World or Incredible Hulk.
I'm okay with it being between the two. I don't know if it's worse or better.
I would be happier with it there.
With it being 29th. Let me just put this up here.
I keep feeling like Eternals should have done all set up. Like the movie should have been them through like it sort of started with, why didn't we get involved? We've been here forever. And then it should have been the story of them through time and the reasoning for why they didn't get involved and introducing them, rather than like setting up giant space gods and stuff. Like the plot of the Earth cracking open, just like from moment one, I would have been like, is this affecting all the like, is this a major event? Because it makes no sense to then do it and then forget it. It's bonkers. The whole thing's bonkers.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe they were like, yeah, go ahead.
Next year during the annual reordering, maybe Eternals gets bumped up because they actually go back to it. So I think leaving it at 29 is fine.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to rank Black Panther Wakanda Forever, though.
I think Wakanda Forever is worse than Black Panther. So that's where I'll start.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yes, I think it was a bigger film. I think a lot of that too is Chadwick was just a better and more prominent and charismatic lead than
absolutely
most of Black Panther 2. I think Angela Bassett? Yeah. There's another Angela, which I often say is the wrong Angela, but Angela Bassett is like on par with that, and she dies in the film. So what's
don't watch this if you don't want Black Panther spoilers.
Yeah,
way too late for that.
I'll put up spoiler alerts there. Yeah.
Well, if you're watching us rank all the MCU movies, you have to assume there's going to be MCU spoilers in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe I'm just expecting too much of common sense. But like,
like
if we're ranking them, you have to assume we're going to talk about them.
I agree.
Yeah, the thing about the problem with Black Panther 2 is Black
too
Panther.
Much. Well, that but also, yes. Yeah.
The fact that the Black Panther character is like an afterthought to me, because the movie is like, what awesome thing is M'Baku going to do or say? What is Namor going to do or say? And when the Queen shows up, it's like, I'm ready for a fire speech. That was it. That was the, like, you know, like all the other characters are great. Big fans. I think all the actors are very, very good. But the movie just, you know, it was missing something. When the villain is the one that I'm like, yo, I want a whole movie of this guy.
When Namor steals the show, I want to see like
steals the show. Absolutely. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was a good Black Panther film.
Yeah.
It was neat. Did a lot of cool establishing though. There's a lot of great stuff in it.
I think we're in agreement. It's definitely not better than the first Black Panther. I think Civil War is better. I think this is where we were starting to have the conversation of where does it sit. I think, Jesse, you said last week that Captain America: The First Avenger is better than Wakanda Forever. And you also said Captain America: The First Avenger is better than Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, and that's where we ended the show.
I will always think Captain America is. I unabashedly love the first Captain America movie. Unabashed. I will watch that thing all the time.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Big fan.
It's you know, it's got a good build up to the reveal of Captain America. Then he does Captain America things for the rest of the movie, and that's great. The end of that movie is probably the weakest part. But I don't know where you guys want to. Ant-Man, for my interest, Ant-Man's still incredibly low in the, the grand scheme of the MCU.
I was gonna put it at 17. Wakanda Forever. I don't know if I'm being very extreme. I feel very calm since my child is sitting with me, but I was gonna put it at 17. But I know
17 above or below. Would that would
above.
Be above Galaxy too?
Yes, above.
Yeah, I think it's better than Guardians 2 for sure. I think the flaws in Black Panther 2 are not bad. They're not bad flaws. It just isn't a better movie than Black Panther, right? Like there's a lot of cool stuff in Black Panther 2. It's just I just don't think it lives up to the first movie.
So you're thinking that?
Yeah, I think that works.
I think Ant-Man's better. I think Captain America's better.
Yeah.
Guardians is maybe the one where I have a little bit of a whatever, but I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna.
Do you think it should be lower or higher?
I think if anything, Galaxy 2 and Wakanda Forever should swap. I thought Galaxy 2, dude, Galaxy 2 has some of the most, or has the most emotional reaction. Sorry, has one of the highest emotional reaction moments at the end of that film.
Are you referring to the ending?
Yes. It's an incredible moment that comes out of
but
nowhere.
I feel like Wakanda Forever had some emotional stuff in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It did. It definitely did. But that was kind like...
I do look like a villain. You're not wrong.
You do look a little villainous, yeah. It's the Black Panther Wakanda Forever sadness, like you go into the film with that sadness, right? Because the actual actor passed away. Not saying that it's better or worse. It's just like expected. Like you kind of you go to watch that movie to see what they're going to do in relationship to the actor's death. With Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it's just an emotional hit because it's like really good writing.
I guess I feel like I don't know. I feel like the music did a lot of work for that final scene. If that makes
any
Guardians
sense. with Cat Stevens.
Yeah, I feel like they set like they did, but
they also pump it up too with the Mary Poppins, y'all. Like that whole sequence where they like, God, I really love This this is really good. I'm really liking it. And then the whole like, I'm not your daddy, or I'm not your whatever, I'm your daddy, and like that type of shit. It's great. And then he passes away. You're just like, well, fuck. Right? Then it gets really emotional at the end of that film. And like the most James Gunn way.
For keeping Wakanda Forever above Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is Wakanda Forever had a lot more to do. Guardians had nothing to do and still had difficulties with pacing, plot, and character development and narrative. Whereas like Wakanda Forever had to address the changing of the mantle from one Black Panther to another, had to introduce an entire new villain and race and all of that, like, you know, with the people from the bottom of the sea. It had a lot more to do. It had a lot more on its shoulders, and we had to get satisfaction from multiple characters, right?
Sure.
Whereas Guardians didn't have any of that on his shoulders and just kind of felt like James Gunn going off the deep end a little bit, you know? Where it was like, why was this scene needed, or why was X scene needed, and we didn't get enough of, like, you know, Drax's storyline or whatever.
Sure.
Well, then hold on. If we're having this conversation about these two films, we need to address the fact that Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, that was next on the list. That was next on the mental list. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Probably too high.
I think everyone's in agreement that it's too high. Yeah.
It's probably too high. Yeah. I think like when it came out, I don't know. I was
you and Jesse were like, this movie's the worst.
Yeah. But I think now everyone else is on our page. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I feel like now everyone else has caught up to us.
Yeah, it's not like the Doctor Strange parts are awesome. Half that movie is very good. The other half is a train wreck that makes no sense.
Yes. Just like I would argue that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is like too much like of doing gun shit, and Love and Thunder is too much Waititi doing Waititi shit. One could easily say Multiverse of Madness is Raimi going too far off the Raimi train.
Too Raimi.
Because there's shit in there that you're like, okay, you just put this in there because you just wanted this scene. This doesn't belong in here. It has no.
You wanted to Raimi it the fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah, like okay. The big one being all Wanda killing all like everybody at that headquarters, in the Illuminati or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. That did happen.
That if you think about it, you can remove that entire scene and it changes
nothing.
The
movie at all.
It literally doesn't affect the film.
Right.
So many people said I was being a hater because I just didn't like Wanda, but like, use your critical thinking. Like that's not
that's an
good
easy
if
out.
you can remove a scene completely, because that scene has no effect on like literally anything. It just felt like he just wanted to do it, and it's like, what is like, and it happens in a part of the movie that's otherwise like super, like you should be building momentum, but it doesn't feel like the momentum is building, if that makes sense. And then they're like running from her and she's like walking slowly, dragging her broken leg behind her. I'm like, we just saw you affect reality. You're telling me you can't fix your own fucking leg? Like but once again, it's just him being like, but it has to be like a horror movie. So she's got to be like dragging her leg behind her.
Her story arc makes no sense. From Jump Street, it makes no sense. She's like, I can create realities, so I need to go to another reality to get my kids. You could create your kids, like anything's possible for you. But then it's like, but my kids could get sick, so I need to keep this person forever. Like, you can affect reality. None of it makes sense. Her plot makes no sense.
In the grand scheme of things, how far are we dropping? Are we dropping it to 18?
I think it is I think it's worse than Guardians 2.
I don't think it is. Oh fuck. I don't know.
I think it's worse than Guardians 2.
Here's the thing. If we drop it to 18, my eye is immediately drawn to the fact that Age of Ultron is 20. And I think Age of Ultron might be a little bit higher than that.
No.
You think it sits at 20?
I think it definitely sits there. They're trying to make the stuff that happened in Age of Ultron very important.
Of the court.
It's still.
Would like to draw the attention of the court to the entire scene where Black Widow and Bruce Banner have a conversation about how she can't have kids.
Was a very strange scene. Not gonna, I can't disagree.
Very weird. Very weird.
But no, but Bronze, don't you get it? At the party the day before, he fell on her boobs, and there was obvious sexual tension in that moment. Remember when he fell on her boobs? Remember that? Hilarious.
Okay, but what does sexual tension have to do with not being able to have a baby?
Well, because when he was on her boobs, she was like, I think I want this man in me at some point. And then they had to have that conversation where she was like, look, I can't be having kids. And he's like, I'm a green man, lady. You don't have a baby every time you have sex. You don't have a baby every time you have sex. That's if you.
Are you a superhero, Bronze? Do you know how superheroes work? Huh?
That's how MCU. That's super sperm. That's how that works.
Do you have radioactive sperm, Bronze, that may or may not be green? Huh?
You need to see a doctor if that's what's going on with
I'm not saying I do. I'm saying the Hulk might.
I am. Come see Jesse Cox.
That boob scene was that boob scene was crazy. You just once again, Jesse, you just reinforced that Age of Ultron cannot be above Multiverse of Madness with that boob scene.
I am outraged that James, here's the thing. James Spader is great in anything he's in, so I have no problem.
He was good as Ultron.
They wasted James Spader on Ultron, and then that's it. No more James Spader in the MCU. That man could do anything. How dare they? How dare they?
I mean, we got him a little bit in What If, or was that a different? Did they have a different 100%, Ultron?
That was a fake James Spader.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, any other? You speak now, forever hold your peace.
Okay.
Any other thing else that we want to potentially have a conversation about until next year?
Until next year. Man.
Until the great
Let's just go from the top down.
Yep. Spider-Man, I can't believe it's number 1.
It's there. Look, it got the Toby bump, bro. Toby bump.
It's just shocking to me.
Toby showed up in Infinity War. It had the Toby bump.
If we're upset about Eternals dropping a man into the ocean and no one referencing it, we should be like Infinity War. We should be shouting from the rooftops about how they have discussed the snap and brought Thanos into every conversation in every film.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, you know what I will say? Man. This is gonna be the most Bronze thing I've ever said on the stream. Spider-Man: No Way Home is the best Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I feel that. Yeah.
And that sucks for Doctor Strange fans like me. It fucking sucks, but it's literally.
I mean, 11's pretty for a standalone film. If you look at the standalone films in the top 12, there's 3. Everything else is an ensemble film, apart from maybe Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I think that we should reevaluate probably. Man. Shang-Chi, I can't tell if that's because it was new and we loved it because it was new, or if it really. I have not watched it since I saw it in theaters.
Did we go?
So I couldn't tell you.
Did we go release order wise? Was it Shang-Chi then Eternals or Eternals then Shang-Chi?
Eternals then Shang-Chi.
So that might be why it was so high, is because we got shit.
Hold on.
And then we got.
I don't know. Shang-Chi is fun. It's a good movie. It's fun.
What if we put Shang-Chi at 11 and move Doctor Strange down? Is that a crazy drop?
It got put to 10?
If we put it at 11, above Doctor Strange.
Oh, above Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Is that crazy? Because Homecoming, guys. And then Iron Man. Come on.
Yeah.
And then Avengers.
I don't know that I put it above.
You're telling me Shang-Chi is better than Avengers?
If we do,
I don't know that I put it above Doctor Strange, because I go back and I watch Doctor Strange with a frequency. That movie's fun.
I'm okay with putting it below Doctor Strange. I just thought y'all would never go for that. I'm okay with putting it below Doctor Strange.
I think,
but that's because of your Doctor Strange bias, not because it's a better movie. That's why I didn't
say it. Jesse said it, but for the record,
no. But the only difference for me is that
I know. I'm just
gone back
stating
and
for
I've
viewers.
watched Doctor Strange multiple times because I think it's one of those movies where I can sit there.
It's not as bad as y'all said it was. I think Doctor Strange was pretty damn good.
No. I don't think Doctor Strange is. The problem with this list is that what's great is great, and what's good is a lot, which is why the middle good is hard, and then the shit is easy to like discard to the bottom.
Yeah.
But the middle is tough because I like Doctor Strange as much as I like the Avengers, as much as I like the original Iron Man, as much as I like Homecoming. It's just hard. It's hard to put it where it needs to be.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I mean, like, I love Shang-Chi too. I think that although
hold on, here's the big. Is Shang-Chi better than Black Panther, the first one?
I mean, I think that's tough. I think Black Panther is awesome. So
I think Black Panther is better.
I think Shang-Chi's better because it's so hard for me to get over the horrible CG in like the last half of Black Panther.
I mean, Shang-Chi had that fight at the end with the giant.
That dragon didn't look very cool. It didn't
look as bad. Yeah. It did not look as bad. If you go and look at that fight in the Wakanda mines with the mine carts,
it gets like bad CG.
It gets like really bad. It gets like super bad.
But admittedly, I think Black Panther overall has like a more cohesive storyline.
I agree.
Like it's slim and it gets the job done and does like it is.
I'll allow it. Okay,
it's like a solid movie.
Okay, so under Black Panther.
Sure.
Okay.
Like that?
Yeah. Okay, I think it's better. I'll be honest. I think I like Shang-Chi better than. Well,
I think I'll just
I'm
never
not gonna fight this.
You know what my thing is? I will never forgive Black Panther for killing Killmonger when I know that if they had kept Killmonger alive,
he'd be the new
Michael B. Jordan would be a much better Black Panther than Letitia Wright. I'll die on that fucking hill.
Yeah, but
I will also die on the hill that Lupita would have been a better Black Panther, and it's shocking to me they didn't choose her.
I agree.
So I'm still mad at Black Panther for killing Killmonger.
Did you see?
Very mad about that, and I don't know why they did it.
Did you see Letitia finally came out and talked about her comments in the past today? I didn't cover it in the news, but she basically said like, yeah, I was wrong.
Oh, at least she apologized.
I think that's the general gist of like, yeah, I was wrong.
But it's not about what she said outside of the thing. It's just like those are really like Chadwick's shoes are really big to fill because he's so fucking likable.
Yeah.
He's legitimately like probably one of the most likable like actors we've ever had on camera. I'll say it. Like his charisma was right up there with like you know RDJ is Tony Stark and Chris Evans is Captain America. In my opinion, he was right there up there. He was just I will never forget I'll never freeze when he like says that when she's like, oh, don't freeze. Like no, he was so fucking adorable in that role, right?
Yeah,
and there was something really heartfelt and sweet about him. So like what we needed to replace that was something completely fucking different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
no one's going to fill that spot. So what we needed was like, okay, completely different take on this character. And I truly think like Lupita or Michael B. Jordan could have done it. And and then I'm not trying to be mean to Letitia, but the thing is like, she just didn't have it for me.
No,
For me.
it comes down to the it
Didn't have it.
factor, and Chadwick has it, right? Like he was in a film with Captain America and Iron Man, who at that point were like, it was peak fandom, I feel, for Marvel, for the MCU. And he stepped into Civil War and was like, I'm the real fucking deal. And everyone's like, he's the real fucking deal, right? Like he held his own in that film and was his own thing and was like a giant
I mean, like,
entity.
Let's not like the thing that I think is important is the best example of this is in Endgame when that portal opens.
It's him
coming through is him and his sister, and I think it's Okoye, and the three of them walk through together. When people saw that scene, look, I'm gonna make a generalization, and the one person out there that's like, that's not how I felt, whatever. But when they walked through there, people were cheering for Chadwick walking through. The other two characters are great. I'm glad they were there. That was nice. But people were excited he was back.
Yeah.
The other characters are part of his world, but they're there for him. Yeah. He was the selling point of Black Panther.
And I truly think like Michael B. Jordan would have been, how do I describe it? The Black Panther from the comics. Because Black Panther in the comics at one point has like a falling out with his wife Storm and has moments where he's like kind of a fucking dickhead. I don't know if y'all are familiar. He's like like he does some shit that's very fucking questionable. Chadwick is so likable. If he did those things, I would be like, no, he would never, T'Challa would never do that. Yeah. But if Killmonger was Black Panther, then we can suddenly have that version of Black Panther that's like a little bit more like, Wakanda first. Look at all this shit that's gone down because of the shit T'Challa did. And then we would have that arc. And then if, God forbid, we ever get mutants in the MCU, that would be cool to play off like, this person that has like more of a policy of isolation than T'Challa did. Like, I think it would have been perfect. Because I think we all know Queen Ramunda's address to the United Nations, if that was Killmonger, that shit would have gone way differently. I'm interested in seeing that, and I'm mad they killed that fucking character.
I actually think it'd be interesting if here's the thing, like they could have kept 80% of this film the way it was. Have the Queen still pissed off at the world for trying to take their stuff. Have like, his sister going through some shit. Like Shuri's like dealing with all this stuff. Even having, imagine if Killmonger was in prison, right? Like even having the fight between, the fake Atlanteans and Wakanda. Like
I'm still right there with you on fake Atlantean because I can't remember
but like
the
thing that would have made sense is then Shuri being like, we don't have any more. Like they could have scrapped the fake. We're trying to make a fake, flower or whatever. Like they don't have any more shit. And it's like, yo, we need someone who actually has like Black Panther inside. Like so they have to let him out. The Queen's dead, but like he can still have his scene where he's like, look, the Queen, all y'all messed up. I'm over here. I'm going to set this right. And then that leads to a third Black Panther movie where even then you can be like, oh, okay, Shuri has to become the Black Panther to stop this Black Panther who's kind of a piece of shit, who's now running the country, and that's not what they wanted. And it leads for like future antagonists, but like what?
This is that same thing you tell me, Jesse, but that would have been better writing. Because I was in the same spot. I was like, if they left Killmonger alive and the herb is gone, he's their only fucking choice.
Yeah.
And
so then the whole beginning where it's like the world is out there. Ross has a role now because it's like, oh, wait, Ross, like all this shit, they warned us, don't mess with Wakanda. And now the Wakandan leader is literally the worst thing for the rest of the world. Like, that's a great welcome to the next phase. Like, it adds tension. It's fun.
Killmonger would have been on Namor's side. Because if Namor was like, yo, listen, T'Challa blew up our fucking spot by telling the world about vibranium. Killmonger would have been like, you right?
No, but I think it would have been fun to see them go head to head because it's like, oh, he attacked Wakanda, he killed the Queen, that was my auntie, I'm pissed, I'm gonna take it out on you. But then they have their fight, and afterwards, it would be amazing if right before he kills him, instead he like grabs his hand and he was like, all right, well now we got that out of the way. I think we should be like now you understand how strong I am. Imagine if we teamed up. And so Killmonger like turns it back on him and is like, No, I'm not allied with you. You're allied with me.
Well,
we're gonna show the world don't mess with us. Like that would have been a whole. And then it's like, see you in the next phase, bitches. Because this is the last phase of 4. It would have been amazing a setup for like phase 5. Is like, yo, it's about to get darkest timeline in this shit. It's gonna be crazy. Humanity better watch out.
I agree with both of you, but to play What If because of an actor dying in the real world is like. It's not everything both of you just said is completely mute.
Right. No, I mean, look, let us have this. Let us have
the
this.
reason I would argue it's not a what if is because they killed him for no reason. They could have kept him alive. They kept Zemo alive. They kept tons of other villains alive. Why did that film choose to kill Killmonger?
I think they killed Killmonger because
it
showed he wasn't going to stop. Right? Like he was going to never stop.
That. To me,
I mean, I got it, so they showed it to me. I got there somehow.
He was like, I can save you, and he was like, let me die.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
So,
like to me, that's why it's below it, because it's like, I didn't feel like they should have killed that character, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. And this isn't just like, oh, in hindsight, because when the movie came out, I said it was crazy they killed him. Like to me, it was wild because. There were so many people that absolutely fucking loved him.
Yeah.
And if so it's not a oh, hindsight is 2020. It's a when that movie came out, I said they shouldn't have killed him. Because he was dope up.
It might have been the moment where like whoever the powers that be in the MCU, not necessarily characters, the powers that be that create the MCU, were like, maybe we should stop killing off big characters. Maybe we should stop taking villains out and find different routes for them to go out. Because you're right in that regard.
Creed 3 and seeing Michael B. Jordan and I always
Jonathan Majors.
I always say Masters for some reason. I don't know why. It's Majors. It's because I'm horrible with names. Seeing them together on screen, it made me be like, yo, I would have loved to see them together in the MCU as well. Like I really would have. And so, like, he had a lot of great scenes in Black Panther, and he had like probably the coolest villain intro I've ever seen. Like that museum scene was so cool.
Yeah.
That it was just a waste, and I think they know it was a waste, and that's why they did the whole What If storyline in the What If series. I think they knew it was a fucking waste to just kill that guy.
That might have been fan servicey, just to bring that back.
Yeah.
I mean, but. Man got fan service, which just shows how beloved of a character he was, even for a villain, right?
100%.
And the reason why everyone can easily let Thanos go is because Thanos got plenty of time. Like Thanos is a great villain, but he got plenty of time. His story's over, and I think it would have been fun to have like even if Chadwick was still alive, to have a T'Challa sitting there talking to Killmonger in prison scene, where Killmonger's still like, you should have killed me. He's like, I can't kill, like that kind of thing. And him doing this sort of like him being an evil M'Baku, like him just always being there. Like he goes down to see him,
which they kind of did.
He's going down Wakanda. He's like,
they kind of already did that with the ancestral plane. So
I was gonna say, even what he tells Shuri, like that line right there, like, how many kids did you fucking help before me? Like, like that was. I'm telling y'all, M'Baku would have been the angel on his shoulder, and Killmonger would have been the devil a little bit. That would have been such a cool dynamic,
But while we were sitting here, again, I think it's very important, and shout out to chat for saying this, Secret Wars. There's the potential
it could always come
that
back.
Anything could happen. They could bring back Killmonger, and he could be good guy Killmonger for all we know.
And
like there's
Like I said, I don't think, because everyone is like, oh, but like, why? He said he'd never stop. Why would he come back as a good guy? Did you not watch Wakanda Forever? He would not be a good guy. He would be my way is the right way, and my way is very extreme.
Yeah.
Kind of guy,
Yep.
And I don't think he's necessarily wrong, if that makes sense, And I think sometimes his methods are extreme, but that's what makes characters like Magneto so great, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, when Magneto's talking, you're like, I agree, yeah, 100%. And then he goes someplace like, and that's why mutant kind of superior. And then you're like, wait. And I think that's a great villain when someone's like talking, you're like, yeah, Yeah, and then they're like, and also, and that's when you're like, wait, you know, like it's like I love that in a villain where you're like, I was with you, and now I'm not with you anymore. Why you do that? You know,
what you just said is exactly how I feel about every single like Marvel review show, Star Wars review show. Like it's always like at the beginning, like, so this is why I hate this film, and I've always said it. But you know the real reason, and then insert insane racist theory here, and you're like,
yeah,
bro, what?
Yeah,
no,
nope. I agree. That's what inspired this rant.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like most podcasters are like that, where they're like, you know, there's a lot of depression in men. And you know, let's look at these reasons why. You know, single income households are harder to run now. There's more pressure on men than ever. And I'm like, yeah, which is why we should shirk traditional roles, right? And it's like, and that's why I hate women. And I'm like, wait. I was with you. I was with it, you know, like, yes,
and that's why every man should be given a woman by the government. I don't understand why that's
they literally like, go
bro, what
deep ends. Because I'm like, because in my head, I'm like, okay, clearly they're moving towards men should not be expected to shoulder the fiscal responsibility of an entire household on their own. And instead they go to, which is why women need to be breeders. And you're like,
jeez,
what the fuck happened?
I'm telling you,
I was with you. And then you just,
honest to God, some of my work, like, I know that there's some, like, a podcast like this where they sit down and they list like this.
Yeah.
I always am just like, all right, yeah, I can't wait to see what their list is. And they're like, all right, so the reason why Black Panther is the lowest, and you're like, nope, all right, I got to get away. I know what's about to happen here. No, thank you.
Comments like that about us. People were saying, oh, the only reason they put Black Panther that high is because, you know, they didn't want to be racist. I was like, did you watch Black Panther? That movie was not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
Black Panther's fire. It's just, there'll be a lot of racist people out there who are like, I don't like it. This promotion
also
of
just,
African
okay,
culture.
look at,
like,
literally, look at our top 10. Spider-Man, white. Avengers Infinity War, okay, that's a mixed bag. Endgame, mixed bag. Captain America, white.
Very
Thor,
white.
Very white.
Guardians, white. Spider-Man, white. Iron Man, white. Marvel's The Avengers, white. Doctor Strange, white. The top 10
that says a lot about Marvel more than it does about us. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
All Black movie at 11, people are like, I see they're pandering. And I'm like, if we were pandering, we would have put it at 1, you fucking losers. What are you talking about?
All right, we're off the rails. We've shit on another podcast. Now we're shitting on our fans. Let's go back and like talk about.
No,
we're gonna talk about this thing.
I'm shitting on the fans that say we pander by putting it at 11.
Say they aren't
you know?
fans.
Still fans.
I'm saying those people
Still
aren't
fans.
I agree, Jesse. I'm with Jesse on that. I would rank those fans at 30.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Any other changes?
A good bronze off the rails. It's my favorite part of this show.
You got to bring it back on.
I hold on dear life. I jump on the caboose like, whoa.
Wait. So we agree Shang-Chi should be higher than Black Panther then? Because we all agree Killmonger was done dirty in Black Panther. Because that's where this started.
I'm not going to rate another movie better or worse because a character died. If that makes sense. Like, I guess let me rephrase that. I don't feel as strongly about the Killmonger situation as you do.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a better way for me to say that.
I think.
What about the bad CG?
At the end, I didn't, until you brought that up, I didn't recognize it as bad CG. You're talking about the train thing?
I remember.
With okay.
I remember. Look, I remember going to see and loving the original Mortal Kombat movie. So there is no bad CG that I give a shit about. I've seen some terrible CG in my life, and frankly,
I've seen a dragon come out of a man's body, and it'd be okay.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I've seen Kentaro walk onto the screen as a half horseman, and it's fine.
I watched whatever the hell that Venom was supposed to be, whatever the hell that like Snake Man that like was truly awful CG, where he's like. That shit, you know what? Loved it. Loved every minute of that.
Goro had 4 arms and looked like a Gerber baby. It doesn't matter. I still like that shit.
The first Blade movie is a fantastic film. He turns into a blood tornado. That's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm just saying, it's totally, like, none of that affects me.
Got it.
I may notice it. I may notice when She-Hulk walks like a crazy person because, like, it's terrible CG. But it doesn't bother me. I'll notice it, but I'm not, like, docking points.
You know, that you brought up a thing, Jesse Cox.
Yeah.
She-Hulk exists, and so does the MCU Plus, which is what we've called all the Disney Plus stuff.
No.
Oh, shit.
Next
Here
year, well, I don't think we can do it because we're already almost 2 hours in.
But
we do have to start thinking about bringing this into an overall ranking.
That's madness. But hold on, is this list our official? Rather than bring it all in together, I was hoping we could look at this and just see, is this correct?
Wait, did we? Oh yeah. This okay. I was gonna say, did we even rank She-Hulk? And we did. Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
This is where we're at
Loki,
with the MCU.
100% deserves to be number 1.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah.
Daredevil. If Loki didn't exist, Daredevil would be number 1. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Number 1.
Punisher. Yeah. I'm fine with 3.
Punisher works great.
Moon Knight's
sure. Great.
Agent Carter.
I love that. That's a 5. I'm a big fan of that.
I can't believe you guys gave us Agent Carter at 5, but I'm about.
I love Agent Carter. It's a good show.
No.
And then She-Hulk was fun. I think the problem with She-Hulk is that it was intentionally goofy for the sake of being goofy in a comedy, and a lot of people, like even us, I think, for we're just talking about movies, we were like, Love and Thunder, too goofy, we wanted a series. So I think a lot of people weren't expecting it, but if you go in thinking it's a fun time, then you'll have a fun time.
Yeah. The issue with She-Hulk, I think, if I recall correctly, was the end for all of us. Like,
I really hated the last episode. I really did. I really hated the last episode. Was kind of
weird. It wasn't weird. Like, it was, the whole thing was weird, but it was like too far. I don't know. We go back and watch our episode. I'm not going to try to.
Yeah, no, I hated the last episode. I'll say that. I really liked a lot of the episodes. I was on board. Then we hit the last episode, and I was like mad. Actually, like I was like upset with how they handled it. It was really annoying.
For me, She-Hulk is like some of the funniest content in the entirety of the MCU.
Oh, like, yeah, there's a lot of good goofs.
Yeah.
They know a lot of
no one told them, like that's what I mean. Like, goofs are fine. Nobody told them to be like, oh, have a revenge porn sequence.
Right.
I'm like, yo, like, you're gonna go that dark in a comedy series, and then, like I said, have no redressal for it at all.
And her redress wasn't even like, it wasn't some sort of allegory or this is how she deals with this situation in real life. She literally broke reality to get it resolved.
Yeah.
Like
the way
to solve revenge porn apparently is to talk to the robot that controls reality. Like, that's how she handled it. It's like, okay, sure.
What if that guy shows back up in Secret Wars and he wins the wars?
Hulk King?
No, Kevin. The robot.
I'm gonna be so upset.
Oh, Kevin, the little robot guy.
Yeah, it could.
I'm gonna be so
that last episode really made me mad.
I need you to know this.
He'll be introduced by then, for sure.
If Dr. Doom is in Secret Wars.
That last episode of She-Hulk was like crazy disappointing.
I was with it until that's not true. I hated most of the like where they were at before Kevin showed up thing. Kevin honestly was like a cool part, but then they took that to whatever. Go watch our review of that.
Yeah, the last. What's crazy is the rest of it. Fine. Last episode is just.
They intentionally wrote something really stupid and then broke the fourth wall to be like, look at how stupid that was. And I'm like, yeah, but you made us watch it for 8 minutes.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, it's not bad that you're making fun of how stupid that would be, but it would be like, guys, wouldn't it be so stupid if we did this? But then you actually, like I said, made us watch it for 8 minutes. And I was like, so you knew this was dumb, wasted 8 minutes of your finale with it, and then wasted another 4 minutes telling us how stupid that was. It's just a weird choice to make with your finale when the episode before had literally one of the most heart-wrenching things I've ever seen. Seeing Jen at the awards and that play on the big screen, it made my heart hurt for her. And it was like, it sucked that like they then did this whole stupid MacGuffin thing where I was like,
right.
That was a choice.
Okay. Well, I think I'm fine with this list in terms of where it's at. I don't have any big changes.
Yeah.
I do have a proposal though.
Uh-oh.
We didn't get to it this week, and I didn't assign it to you guys, but let's finish Legion, and we'll talk about Legion next week. We'll also talk about the Guardian special, because that comes out this week. So we'll lead with that into Legion talk. And then I think it's time. I think we should watch Inhumans. I think
how many episodes? How many seasons?
What is I just looked it up. There's 8 episodes. Only 8 episodes total, and they're 42 minutes each. And I'm going to warn you guys. It's bad. Like, it's really...
I feel like I've watched the first episode and I tapped out.
I don't even know if you guys...
It's not like I never watched it. I tried it.
I don't even know if you will get... Like, here's the thing. We could say we're going to watch the first 3 episodes, but at any point, the 3 of you can pull the ripcord and say, I'm done. And then we're done. And then we don't watch anymore. Yeah. I'll allow a ripcord for Inhumans.
How was it compared to Iron Fist season 1? Because that was...
Bronze. This is... No. Iron Fist is a fucking Oscar, Emmy performance situation. Inhumans is bad. Like...
All right. What if instead we agree to do this?
We
aren't going to watch all 3, but we all must watch through the entire first episode. Just one
episode and then decide after that. Okay. We'll do that in 2 weeks.
We'll come back, we'll reconvene. Can we handle more of it? Should be the discussion.
Let me
I feel like we should have a live react. Personally, I feel like we should have a live react.
I just want to show you, and this might get DMCA'd. This is the trailer for Inhumans. Not even going to give you audio. This is why
I already hate how
it looks so stupid. That's the guy from Multiverse of Madness, by the way.
Yeah.
What's his name? Anson Mount?
Little
is that
head
his name?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have his head.
There's Medusa.
Yeah.
There's the Inhuman crew.
Yeah.
They've got a wonderful table.
I was gonna say, it doesn't like the visuals. Like, they clearly had some money for this.
All right. Well, that kind of looks like shit.
They're in the city now. Why are they in the city now? Why are they here? Oh shit! He let out a queef and sent that car flying.
Even the logo is so bad. That's so atrocious. Okay, I'm with Jesse. We'll do the first episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah. My name is Blackgar Bolt again. It's gonna be shit no matter what.
Whoa, hot takes out of
Stop
Jesse Cox.
knocking the Blackgar Boltigan thing.
Jesse Cox.
It's the only take.
MCU crew ends. We will make a bet, and you will lose that bet, and you will be getting.
Can I tell you something?
A Blackgar Boltigan tattoo at some point in your life.
Having watched and absolutely loved Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, the fact that they cast that man as a man who can't talk is an outrage. An outrage.
Because he can't act.
He's so good in Strange New Worlds. He's such a good actor. It's outrageous to me that he is like, he's the silent one.
Sure. So, next week, you got homework. And if you haven't started Legion, you got 5 episodes to finish.
Woo.
I watched all 5 yesterday because I just had ample time. So, finish up season 2 Legion. Watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which I don't even know what to expect from that. Kevin Bacon is in it, and they're going to steal him. Sure.
I expect maximum James Gunn.
Yeah.
Like, to the extreme, let off the hook. It's going to be
fine.
James Gunn without swearing.
Yeah. You know, I say go for it. If he wants to do that in these things, and don't do it in the movies. Thank you.
Should be good.
Maybe Taika needs a TV special.
Yeah. And so that'll be the 28th. And then, actually, I don't know if he needs that. And then the 5th, we'll do the first episode of Inhumans. And by then, Midnight Suns will be out. So we can, if we're all going to be playing Midnight Suns, we can talk about Midnight Suns and talk about that game.
Midnight Suns.
It's MCU related. Jesse Cox.
Andor Minute.
It's time for the Andor Minute.
Everybody.
You're not caught up yet?
It is still the best show. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say something that I think is
spoiler alert.
It's not just the best Star Wars show. It is the best show on TV right now.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, we said that last week.
I said it.
It's great. Last episode, still good. Wasn't bad. I think the episode prior was just so good. New arc. Yeah, it was.
The way they do this, they do like all right episode, fantastic episode.
Yeah.
And then like plot setup, and fantastic episode.
Well, we're going back.
They've done it 3 times in a row.
The finale's this week, and we're going back to where we started. It seems like that's going to be a kickoff point for, I think, Andor, like being all in.
I mean, it's getting a season 2, yes?
Yeah, it's confirmed. They're getting 2 seasons, that's it. Season 2 will lead right into Rogue One.
I hope the Cyril storyline has a payoff. He's about to do something.
He is about to do something. He got the call from fucking the Scottish guy. The old Scots guy.
He's like, I gotta go back. Yeah, it looks like it's all gonna be at the funeral, is kind of like the big culmination of shit.
Yeah.
I have no clue. But hey, you know what they did, which I think is amazing? They brought in 2 phenomenal actors and were like, all right, in one up, like, it's hard to top. You're right. It's hard to top being like, we're going to give Stellan Skarsgård and Andy Serkis 2 big speeches in one episode. Like, you can't beat that shit. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
That's
good.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Also,
literally the fighter scene was amazing.
I was blown away. Like, it was, we got Batman, basically. It was revealed that he's Batman of Star Wars. Yeah. And like, he did some Batman shit and left that Imperial commander just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what?
Yeah, it's amazing.
We just lost everything. So yeah, that scene was great. The physics in that scene were fantastic. I loved every moment. I think the next episode's going to be crazy too.
I now learned that Mon Mothma's kid is a fundy, like just full fundamentalist. Like, just like,
yeah.
You know what? I now do believe in some crazy shit. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
There's
a lot of stuff.
Her storyline has definitely been like the most tragic so far. I think just watching everything happen around her and her just being like, I can't.
It is.
I can't do anything.
Like, the thing that I think is fascinating is you have Stellan Skarsgård character who is like, I have given everything to this rebellion, and he knows what he is, and so he says, like, from the get-go, yeah, if you want to do this, if you want to go against the Empire, you got to sacrifice everything. And every other character that's with him is unwilling to do that yet.
Yeah.
Like, Mon Mothma still has her family life she's dealing with. The one guy who's like on the inside, he's like, I just had a kid. Like, even Andor's trying to run from the idea. Like, everyone is like, no, there's no reason. We can still have a life and be a part of this. This dude is like, I'll be waiting for you when you're ready to give up on that shit, so you can go take that. I'm like, hell yeah. Okay, son.
Yeah.
It's great. The whole entire thing is fantastic.
I also think it's like kind of blows my mind that Forrest Whitaker still is in like a Star Wars film. It did even when Rogue One, but him as Saw Gerrera and like the way that they're portraying why he was the way he was in Rogue One, with just being like, everyone's against me, I'm going crazy. And it's because of Luthen. He like did so much fucked up shit that made him just absolutely insane and question everything. And I love that.
What's amazing to me is Saw Gerrera, and I'm trying to think who the Imperial is. The dude who's like always, he also does the voiceovers for Clone Wars. That guy, the guy who's the ISB dude who was in the first Star Wars movie.
Grand
Moff. I can't remember his name at all.
Are you talking about Tarkin?
No, not Tarkin. The dude with the mustache. Yularen, Wolf Yularen.
Yularen.
Yeah.
Yularen, okay.
Those 2 characters, Wolf Yularen and Saw Gerrera, cross the last 10 years, they're in all Star Wars media.
Yeah.
The 2 of them are like minor characters, but I love when they're thrown in and included. You're like, okay,
what's all
that's
Saul
fun.
Up to? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun to see them be important and see them grow as characters. You know, and I think that's super interesting. And it's, you know, not R2D2 or C3. You know, like, I love seeing, oh yeah, that's John Boofman. He's a stormtrooper and now he's a captain. That's so cool. Instead of it's like, oh, R2, for some reason we're here again. It's like, shut up. Shut
the fuck up.
Go away. Yeah. So that's nice. I'm here for it.
Very excited for the finale this week. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll be a banger episode. And then we can just tell everyone to keep watching Andor. So Bronze.
And then all those people who were like, I've been waiting for it all to be out so I can fine. It's all out
binge
this week.
The fuck
Please
out of it. Yeah.
Go support the show, because it's the first time I've been like, this is what Star Wars should be, bro. This is it right here.
And pardon the pun, but it is a new hope, right? Like it is Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's very good. And hopefully they can capture, hopefully old Iger can be like, oh, that Andor you guys did was actually pretty good. Let's do more of that. Let's get more of that in the Star Wars world. It's good. get rid of the Jedi. Get rid of the Sith. They're done. The story's over. Except for Ahsoka.
It really is. Like the Sith Jedi storyline, it really is kind of like done.
Yeah.
Star Wars can be anything. You can do a murder mystery in Star Wars. You can do like a cowboy romp adventure of like, you can do a heist movie. You can do a romance if that's your vibe. Doesn't matter. Anything can be done in that franchise because it's just a galaxy.
Yeah.
With like a set of rules, but it's straight up just D&D, really. There's a set of rules and then tell whatever story you want. It's so easy. And it blows my mind. They're like, all right. But this time, Yoda is only 200 years old. And you're like, oh my God, just stop. Please stop.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
All right, y'all. We got to wrap it up. My cat is going crazy.
All right, let's wrap it up. Best 1 hour podcast. You've got your homework for next week. Let's do some shout outs. Jesse Cox, what do you got going on? Where can people check you out?
Hey, you can find me everywhere at Jesse Cox. Unless for some reason you're on Instagram, which is notorious COX. And hey, I'm just out there doing my stuff. Boy, I don't know how many of you have. I keep saying boy, but that's because God of War's on the brain. If you have not played God of War, or you haven't seen, that game is good. It's angering how good that game is. So yeah, that's a thing. And then next up is scary game season, apparently, because there's a ton of great games are coming out in December.
It's true.
Who knew? And then also we have to see our Midnight Suns, and that's coming soon. So like, man, it's a wild time. But usually at the end of the year we don't have a lot of stuff, so I'm thankful for it. And so that's my Thanksgiving message to you.
Fantastic. Way to bring in the holidays.
Yeah.
What do you got going on? Do some shout outs. You can see the cat in the background.
Look how cute he is back there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank this podcast for giving me enough clout that Microsoft sent me the custom Wakanda Forever Xbox Series X.
Son of a bitch.
Crew. Thank you so much. It even came with controller holders that look like the fists crossed when you put them next to the console. I love it. So, thank you, MCU crew, for making me relevant enough.
Hey, JP, did you get one?
No.
Microsoft.
Oh, I didn't get one either. Weird, huh?
Thank you. This is beautiful. I love it. It's a gorgeous console. I will cherish it forever. Other than that, yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and now Hive, since that's apparently where all the cool kids are migrating, at that bronze girl everywhere. But really, what I'm most excited to talk to you about this week is D&D. I'm going to be DMing the Dragonlance live event at PAX Unplugged in just a few short days. So make sure you check that out. It'll be on twitch.tv/thatbronzegirl. Don't ask me how I finagled that, because Wizards did. So thank you, Wizards, for allowing that to happen. I'm also going to be in the Ack Inc. game. And if you want a taste of my delicious DMing, make sure you check out Last Call for Adventure. I'm so proud of how that show is coming along. Both these goobers are on it. I stole Jesse's word about the goobers. I normally don't say that. But if you want to see,
goober.
The MCU crew play D&D, I'm DMing. And it's pretty wonderful. Everybody has wonderful characters, and I really, really, really love that game. So check it out. This Wednesday.
Yep.
10 a.m.
PST.
Oh, I should probably say the time. 10 a.m.
Just go to lastcallforadventure.com. It's got everything. VODs.
There we go.
MP3s, cast list, all that stuff.
And support us on Patreon.
Yeah, appreciate everyone that has already done so. Guys, I forgot to hit submit on the old rankings. So we'll see you in a year where we're going to do this all over again.
Don't say that.
I didn't actually hit submit, so I'll have to go back through the VOD and submit that stuff. But we will be back next year for the annual re-ranking of the MCU, where Jesse's going to change everything once again.
I've forgotten what I said already.
Yeah,
my commitment level is so low to that level. Like, I don't care what ends up with the list. Really, I just like arguing with Bronze. It's really more fun.
It's true.
We agree on most shit, Jesse.
No, we don't. How dare you put those words in my mouth?
Yeah, it's messed up.
Oh my god,
it's messed up.
Look at that.
You've got your homework.
Boy that put the gum in your hair because he likes you.
You have your homework. Finish Legion. watch the Christmas special for Guardians. We'll circle back. And then the real fun starts because we'll be watching the first episode of Inhumans and realizing that we've got it pretty good with the MCU. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We're out here. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye.